Good morning. 1 Peter 4:21. Remember the context here. Noah, by being willing to suffer and proclaim the truth, he ended up being used by God to save his family through water, the text says. In other words, this deluge comes and they are brought safely through the water. So Peter picks up on that and says, you know what? You're saved through water too, in a sense. How's that? Verse 21 of 1 Peter 3. Baptism, which corresponds to this, saying that, hey, Noah being rescued through water reminds me of baptism through water. To this now saves you. How does baptism save you? Wait a minute. Are you saying I'm not saved if I'm not baptized? Well, listen to the text. Baptism, which corresponds to this, now saves you, not as a removal of dirt from the body, but as an appeal to God for a good conscience through the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Verse 22, who has gone into heaven and is at the right hand of God with angels, authorities, and powers having been subjected to him. Let's just take these two verses together. Baptism saves you. What does that mean? He delineates. It's not about the ritual act. It's not about the fact that you get, like going under the water just removes dirt from your body, he says. But what is it? What's the point of baptism? Baptism is a symbol that points to a substance. And the substance that it points to is the appeal, the pledge of your inner life. This appeal, he says, to God for a good conscience. You're saying, Lord, I have made a decision for you. And in making a decision for you, in pledging my life to you, I am proclaiming it through this symbol. So it's not the symbol that is the actual mechanism of salvation. It's the symbol that's the representation of the substance that saves. And the substance that saves is the appeal of a good conscience to the Lord. Now keep in mind, in the early church, when you believed, you were baptized. There wasn't this idea that you believed and then you waited and waited and waited and waited. No. Baptism was your way of coming out to the world. It was your way of putting your stake at the head of the trail. This is why baptism is significant, because it's your way of saying to the world, not to everybody that you can just, that already believes, but your way of saying to the world, I'm a believer. I'm identified. Right? I once was a sinner. I'm buried with Christ. I'm raised to walk in newness of life, as Romans 6 tells us. And I am his. Now see, that kind of a stake in the ground will make you an exile, right? That'll probably lead for you to suffer in some ways, because you'll be identified by a different world. And that is what he's talking about. This baptism here. As Noah identified himself through water as an exile, baptism identifies you as an exile. May the Lord burrow that in your mind, because I really think we need to think a little more robustly about the radical nature of what it means to undergo baptism, because it literally is our identification with the body of Christ over against life with the world. May the Lord bless you this day.